Hello, Dancing with the Stars fans. Daniel Montgomery here from Gold Derby, here with Joyce Eng, Cordell Martin, and Jeffrey Kare to talk about the season premiere of Dancing with the Stars Athletes and to anticipate week 2 of Dancing with the Stars Athletes. Next Monday night, we will be halfway done with the season. Now, on Monday night, it started with 10 athletes, and because it's only a 4-week season, there were 2 eliminated right off the bat. And, you know, in our prediction center at Gold Derby, we were predicting it would be the basketball players, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and Orike Okunbowale, and they were both safe. And it turned out that the 2 eliminated were Jamie Anderson, the snowboarder, and Johnny Damon, the Major League Baseball player. So start with you, Joy. So what did you think about those eliminations? Were those the right eliminations, or should someone else have gone?
Well, since fan votes have factored in, they weren't surprising, even though they were not the lowest scores, but they were, I think, the 2nd and 3rd lowest scores. So Kareem definitely has the fan base to compensate for his 17, and you know he was within distance of an 18 and a 19, so that wasn't that hard for him to make it up. I think, you know, like Jamie and Johnny weren't terrible, but I think Jamie was pretty nervous and her lines weren't straight and elegant, and Johnny was fine. I think the whistle in his routine really threw me off. It was like very jarring. I know that has nothing to do with his performance, but I think, you know, they weren't shocking eliminations, and yeah, like you know, Jamie is not like a well-known snowboarder like Shaun White or even Chloe Kim, you know.
Yeah, I think the interesting thing about Jamie Anderson was twofold. Cordell, I think you mentioned that she had the Viennese waltz, and that's not like a show-stopping kind of dance where even if it's bad, it's at least entertaining. And there's also the, you know, for me, I think she was doomed by that clip package. Like, it was clear that it's not even that she and Artem were combative or anything like that. They just didn't seem to have any kind of chemistry or connection at all. And so there just didn't seem to be much going on there. And so when
the clip packages were so weird because I felt like they had longer ones for all of them, but then they just kind of edited down as the show went along because they're running out of time. Like, you know, the Tonya one was supposed to be way longer, and it just sort of ended.
Yeah, what did you think of those eliminations, Cordell?
To Joyce's point, I wasn't surprised by the eliminations. I figured once the cast was announced that Jamie was going to be an early elimination. I just felt that she just didn't have that it factor in her personality, and then matched with her performance. She was definitely someone I wasn't surprised to go. Johnny was just one of those contestants that was on the fence with me. Either he was going to be an audience favorite or he was just going to be middle of the road. And unfortunately, he was middle of the road and was sent packing.
And what did you think, Jeffrey?
Well, I mean, with Jamie and Artem, I thought they did a nice little routine, even though it probably was not enough to, I guess, get them past the first week. Same with Johnny and Emma. I mean, I overall thought the 2 of them did better than what the judges gave them credit for. And yeah, and Kareem, who I think is in danger of elimination next week, I thought his routine Monday night was, well, okay, I thought him and Lindsay both had slick outfits, but it looked like the backup dancers were really doing all the work.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I remember, I think we talked about the maypole dancing.
Yes.
And it's incredible. There was one moment in that Kareem routine where Lindsay literally danced circles around him while he was standing in place. And I was just thinking, really?
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see if he can survive another double elimination night, because he's got clearly enough fan base and, you know, goodwill to make it, you know, past the first elimination. But with 2 eliminations per night, I'm not sure there's enough wiggle room. You know, is there?
Well, it's possible, I guess.
I think what also hurts him this coming week is the team dances, and if you've seen the lineups, they are not even at all in the slightest.
Yeah.
So I think it's probably safe to say like his team will be the losing team, so he won't get like the extra points for that either.
Well, you never know. We've been surprised before where one team looks stacked and another team looks
I think in like recent seasons it's been like that, but in the past, like with like the old guard, it's like pretty clear like who's gonna win that.
Although, based on scores, the teams for next week are pretty evenly matched based on their scores from week one. There's team 1970s football, which is Mirai Nagasu, Adam Rippon, Orike Ogunbowale, and Jenny Finch. And then team 1950s tennis is Chris Masder, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Tonya Harding, and Josh Norman. Now, no offense to Kareem, but any team with him on it has a liability built in. But both teams have one of the dancers who was tied for first this week, and both of the teams have one of the dancers who was tied for second. So you've got Adam and Mirai, and you've got Josh Norman and Tonya. So in that level there, so you'll have three people dancing around Kareem in one dance.
Imagine how all their heights will measure up.
Oh my gosh.
The human pyramid is just he'll be at the bottom. Obviously, he'll have to.
He'll have like a 5-second solo, and then they'll just like shuffle everyone else out to make you forget about it.
Now, do any of you think that either Jamie or Johnny Damon would have survived if it hadn't been that instant voting and double elimination in the first night? I kind of wonder if voters had a chance to think about it. I feel like Jamie probably would have gone anyway, but I feel like Johnny might have rallied in the votes after the fact.
That's a good point.
Yeah, I think like Johnny could have made it up like if it was like a regular season or there was no elimination the first week. I think if even this had just been a single elimination, Jamie was going. Like she only had a point higher than Johnny, and he's more famous and more well known. Maybe like the Yankees and Red Sox fans just cancel each other out too.
Yeah, all the Yankees and Red Sox fans.
They just like refused to vote.
Yeah, they all were voting against him because he was on the other team at one point. So that's where all the votes for, I guess, Orike went to. came from. Now one of the interesting things about any season premiere is I kind of watch any season premiere and my first thought isn't necessarily who's going to win, like who's the very best, but who can hang is the way I think of it. Is people who are clearly have the potential or some innate rhythm or ability, and those people who are just kind of they're kind of cannon fodder. They'll be gone early-ish, or we'll be waiting for them to leave. And this season, I think looking at this, I mean the people we expected, Adam Rippon was great, Mirai Nagasu was great. Of course. You never know with a football player. A lot of them are great. A couple of them are not so great. Josh Norman is in the great realm. So that was kind of surprising to me. And Tonya Harding was even better than I expected. And Chris Masder, I think Chris Masder is the one who the most would benefit from a longer season from his personality, I think. So who surprised you the most, Cordell?
Let's see. Some surprises for me, of course, Tonya Harding. Like, I just didn't know how the audience was going to react to her. I thought that Sasha did a great job at calming her nerves and just giving her that encouragement, like, just go out there and have fun. Who cares about what happened in the past? Like, just live in the moment. And I think that was a great way for her just to enjoy it and for us to see a different side of her. So I thought she was actually fantastic with her performance. To your point, Chris, I think Chris is just one of those contestants who might not be the best dancer, but one of those contestants that the audience loves to rally behind because you will see the growth week after week. So I could see him being an audience favorite. And I was surprised with Orike. Like, I didn't know what to expect with her being a basketball player. I didn't know how much involvement she was going to be in terms of just like her dance movement. But she surprisingly has some rhythm. The only challenge that's going to be interesting to see if she'll tackle is wearing heels next week for Foxtrot. So we shall see how that goes.
Yeah, she really lucked out with getting the platform sneakers this week.
Yeah.
Yeah. Were there any big surprises for you, Jeffrey?
Well, yeah, I definitely thought Enrique and Gleb were both did well. I guess hit a home run. I thought Adam and Jenna were both outstanding. I thought Chris and Whitney were both very skillful. I thought Jenny and Keo both did a wonderful job, and I guess thank goodness Keo wasn't the first to be eliminated this time.
Yeah, he is now. He was guaranteed anyway, but this is going to be his second best finish at the very least. If he can make it past another week, he'll at least tie his very best result on the show, which is depressing. I feel bad for Artem. He didn't have that same opportunity. They just need to give him a ringer next. Like, he should have gotten a Mirai. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Alan Burston's just starting, and he gets a Mirai in his second season as a pro. Now, there are 8 contestants left. Which two are most at risk of elimination? Because I think Kareem obviously is not going to get a high score, I don't think. So he'll be at risk, but he could get bonus points from viewers at home. And then you've got someone like Tonya, who I think could get a high score, but I think she's going to need them because I don't think she's going to get the votes. So Joyce, who do you think is going to be eliminated next week?
Kareem, one, just because everything you just said. And I think it might be between Enrique, Jenny, and Tonya on a lesser level. Like, Tanya's a complete wild card. I think she really lucked out with a ballroom dance this week because it was just so elegant, and that wasn't something I don't think anyone even who followed figure skating expected from her, because she even said so in her clip package. Like, she was never the most graceful skater. Like, she was known for athleticism. So that was a really lovely dance. So yeah, I am interested to see like how she would do with like the Latin dances, but she has a quick step this week. So
that's completely night and day for her going.
Yeah. So I think she can do well with that as well. I think like Jenny is one of those people, like you said, who would have benefited from a longer season. She's kind of like a quieter personality as well. So I could see her kind of like falling through the radar, or just, not standing out completely if she just has like a decent performance like she did this week. And then Enrique, yeah, same thing. Like, if she can't dance in heels, like, I don't know.
Yeah, I think Kareem probably. I am like, it'll depend a lot on what the scores are, because I really think Jenny, like you said, Joyce, could fall through the cracks if she doesn't have enough of a buffer in the scores, because she didn't have the most memorable outgoing personality. Whereas Enrique
she's
does
just like a
that.
mom. Like, she's lovely. She's a nice mom.
What do you think, Cordell?
Yeah, I have to agree with Joyce. I definitely think Kareem will be one of the two to go, and then it's between Jenny and Enrique. For Jenny, she's really gonna have to just stand out. Like, she needs that standout performance in order to get those votes and make it another week. For Enrique, if she's able to dance in heels, I think the audience would just rally behind her and support her for another week. So it's just going to depend on if she can work them heels like Beyonce. So hopefully she's watching a couple Beyonce videos to get in the zone.
Yeah, and for a foxtrot, that's going to be especially, like, again, that's another night and day. She's going from salsa to a foxtrot, which is, I'm not sure how she'll do on.
And Jenny has a cha-cha.
Yes. So who do you think is in trouble, Jeffrey?
Well, I've mentioned Kareem earlier. I think he's definitely at risk, and I guess to your point, I could definitely see Jenny being in danger as well, and possibly Enrique, depending on how she does in heels next week, and Tonya Harding, who was the one person. Tonya and Sasha, they were both the one pair in the bottom three who luckily were not eliminated. And they did just perform on Kelly and Ryan this morning. So hopefully, I guess fans were watching, and I guess we'll put more goodwill towards them next week. So yeah, I think right now I have Cream and Jenny as the top two being eliminated next week.
And Tonya, I think there's she's at risk of, I mean, they're leaning hard into the redemption dance thing.
She has Derek Huff backing her.
But it's so like, I mean, it's so diagrammed how they're doing, like from her clip package, and then she's dancing to "When You Believe" from the Prince of Egypt.
Yeah, the Oscar-winning song.
And next week they're they're gonna lean into that whole backstory of her. She's dancing to a redneck woman. They're trying to drum up that kind of narrative and sympathy for her in such a way that I really feel like for people who aren't inclined to forgive her, they're going to be even less inclined to do so, given how much they're pumping that storyline for her. So yeah, I think she'll need a high score, but I think she probably does have enough of a buffer in terms of her ability, her dance ability, to overcome potentially low viewer votes. So yeah, I think it's Kareem. I think Enrique has the personality, but Jenny has more slightly more dance ability. So it'll be about how they do in these particular routines. I think it'll be tough to see. I think it'll be close for that second elimination.
And Enrique and Jenny are on the same team.
Oh yeah, so that's not going to help either of them.
Yeah.
Unless Jenny and Mariah and Adam, they could pull them up actually to both of them, so that you end up with potentially Kareem and maybe Tonya getting left out, because of the team score. So that could potentially happen. So last week, going into the season premiere, Adam Rippon was the front runner to win according to our Gold Derby racetrack odds. He has increased that lead in our odds for week 2 after he got the high score in week 1, tied with Josh Norman. Who were you predicting before, and has your opinion changed on who's going to win the Mirrorball Trophy now? What do you think, Cordell?
I think Adam is still the front runner. I'm thinking that Josh will probably be the runner-up, just based after the premiere. Mariah, while I think she's a great dancer, I can see her personality kind of turning viewers off. And then also with the whole angle of Mariah versus Adam, oftentimes when the producers continue to bash the rivalry between two contestants, one rises to the top and kind of throughout the season. So I can see her probably ending up in third.
What do you think, Jeffrey?
Well, I guess to Cordell's point, yeah, I remember this season Chris White and Meryl Davis competed, just coming off of the Winter Olympics that year. If I remember correctly, I do not believe Chris ended up making it to the finals while Meryl ended up winning.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Charlie was in 5th place.
Oh yeah, Charlie.
He was completely lowballed that whole season.
Yes, he was.
Which happens a lot.
Justice for Charlie.
See, they need to have a redemption season for contestants who were eliminated surprisingly early or something. So you get
they already brought back Sabrina Bryan.
Who do you think is going to win, Joyce?
I still have Adam. Like he met all our expectations, perhaps even exceeded them, and his chemistry with Jenna is great, and he has a lot of upside. Like he can be better than he was, obviously, because he can improve as the show goes on. I think I had Mariah and Adam as the final 2 before, and I think Josh is right now the only one who can play spoiler to that, and I totally agree with Cordell about Mariah's personality. Like even during and after the Olympics, if you don't understand her sense of humor, she can definitely rub you the wrong way. Like she's insane in the best way, but there are going to be a faction of people who just do not get her and find her cocky or something, and not vote for her. So she has a lot of potential too. Like, I love the way she attacked that dance. Like, I think she kind of like overdid it a little bit. So
it kind of had to, because she was upside down.
They had so many tricks. Like, that was really heavy on tricks. So I want to see how she does with a slower dance. And I think she has the Foxtrot this week. So she's been in like a Cinderella costume on Instagram. So they're doing some Disney theme.
I think a more elegant dance will be interesting for Mariah, because we'll get to see if she has those fundamentals, because she clearly has the athleticism, she clearly has the rhythm, but with all those tricks, it's like, that was kind of a salsa, but it's hard to kind of gauge how her posture is and all this sort of stuff when it's all about the tricks. So it'll be nice to see a more traditional side of her. That might answer a lot of questions as to whether she could still win it. I had Mariah in going into week 1 because I thought, given that women often have the ability to show off more than men do, that she as a figure skater would have more of an advantage than Adam as a figure skater. But Adam's routine kind of convinced me, it's like, okay, he feels like the natural showman. Like we were kind of expecting. So I have switched over to he
also has a better balance of like technique and like charisma. I don't know if that's even like the right word, but there's like his wasn't as, this also wasn't the right word, but it wasn't like as harsh as Mariah's. Like, she just kind of went for it. And his, like, you could see more skill there, and like she has the skill too, but it needs to be more polished.
She needs more technique, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and in fact, I would also like to point out for Josh and Sharna, they were both the last couple to perform on Monday.
It's the anti-pimp slot now.
Well, yeah, but I guess the producers like to save the best for last, especially as we saw with Jordan Fisher often, I guess, closing the show or near the end of the show last season.
Yeah, it's interesting. I do think a lot of people probably just voted for their favorites before even seeing them dance, because they knew they wouldn't have much time anyway. So I'm guessing most of Josh Norman's votes came in late, and even if they didn't come in, even if he didn't get any votes come in, he was still going to be safe because he had the top scoring dance. There was almost no chance that he was going to be eliminated with that. I am wary of Josh Norman. It's with such a with such an abbreviated season, every one dance has so much more weight to it. So the fact that Mariah had a great first dance, like, that's a great first dance for anyone, and she could build from that in most seasons, but she's only got like 3 weeks left. Mm-hmm. So she's gonna have to like literally everything.
Are they doing a final 3 or 4 or 2?
I'm not sure. My guess is that, 2 more eliminated next Monday, then we're down to 6. And then I would think week 3, 2 more eliminated, then we're down to 4. And then maybe the last week they'll do like a 2-night thing, where they'll do 1 night and then eliminate 1, and then
the finale is on the 21st, because it's the same. It's only 1 hour. It's the same night as Idol.
Oh, that's awful! Goodness.
Yeah. So like, what are they doing? I'm so confused.
Well, yeah, I guess maybe now ABC probably regrets picking up American Idol.
They're gonna have to literally eliminate someone mid-dance. They're gonna be like halfway through. It's like the Gong show, or no, it's the Apollo, where they just kind of take you off the stage.
That's what they used to do with like the relay or whatever. Like, they just like tapped you out when like they wanted you, like, you weren't up to par. Those are the days when it was a 2-night show and they needed to fill the time.
Oh, I miss those days. I all of a sudden miss the filler.
I miss Dance Center. This would be a great time to bring back Dance Center.
Oh yeah,
especially in the era of TV revivals.
Well, with that, thank you guys for joining me, and thank you everyone for watching. We will see you next week. Certainly talk about the developments in next week's episode, when the season will be half over. So thank you, Cordell. Thank you, Joyce. Thank you, Jeffrey. And thank you everyone again for watching.